Hello guys, it's Joshua Hawes. As you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be doing a video explaining my thoughts on the Falcon Winter Soldier episode 4. This will contain spoilers, so spoiler that you have been warned. Overall, I think this is the best episode yet. The stakes have finally risen, which is something I needed to do, and the characters are very much in depth. It's just a very enjoyable show. So the show starts off with a flashback to when we see the scene where the Winter Soldier is finally free of being the Winter Soldier, thanks to the help of the Wakandans, and it's a really emotional and powerful scene to finally see him be free, which I thought that was a really enjoyable scene. And by the way, if I missed stuff, I'm sorry. A lot happened in this episode. Next up, we go back to present day, and the Wakandans like, why did you let him out of prison? He killed our King T'Chaka. And he's like, he's a means to an end. Well, and the Wakandans were like, well, you got 8 hours. You got 8 hours. So then they have to fight. The next part is when they find out, I forget her name, but it's a funeral for the main villain, you could say. He's going to be insane because Sam wants to have a talk to her to try to sort this out. While she still can't, he can still help her before she can make any more wrong decisions that take her down a path she won't, she will regret. So they go to the JRC building or some orphanage and stuff, trying to find out where this video's taking place so they can confront her afterwards. Falcon and Winter Soldier find nothing, but Baron Zemo finds stuff because he gives some sweets to some children. The children tell him, and the rest of them don't know, so he's kind of holding them. So once he agrees to take them to the place, they get stopped by good old Captain America and his pal. And this is one thing I definitely think about this then. If you hated him before, you definitely hate him now. Like, compared your thoughts on him now to him beforehand, you pretty much loved him compared to about how you feel about him now. That's all I say. This is a really good, because it really shows how Captain America's crumbling, the new Captain America's crumbling under pressure, and that gets me up in the ending. So, and he's like, why did you let Zemo out? Where he's like, he knows stuff, we need his help. And Falcon's like, if you know it, let's arrest him. Like, Falcon's like, no, I want to have a talk. He agrees for 10 minutes, which doesn't go well, because they had a talk, they're like, it was actually like she was getting somewhere with it. Like it was actually a really interesting conversation, which is something I really liked. But then good old Captain America was like, no, I'm not waiting. And she came in. I was thinking, I hated him at that point. Like I thought I hated him before. I thought even then I was like, okay, but there's more to come. So they have this like fight, which ends with Zemo destroying the can of super soldier serums, but leaving one behind with good old Captain America. He takes a long look at it, and he puts it in his pocket. And when he did that, I was like, oh no, things are gonna get bad to worse with him. So they get back to where they were staying. Then the Wakandans come in. It's like, your 8 hours are up. We want him. And Captain America's like, no. What? No, Captain America's just like, you don't have any jurisdictions. The Wakanda's like, we have jurisdictions wherever we so happen to be. A fight happens and Captain America gets destroyed, and it feels good. It feels good. Eventually, the Winter Soldier found out to get involved, but it turns out his Wakandan arm, they can just deactivate it, which makes sense because if he ever became Winter Soldier again, they have that protection route. But of course, he can put it back on and be fine. But Baron Zemo escaped because of that. Then the leader of the terrorist group calls Falcon's sister and is like, tell him to talk to me at this specific time, at this specific place. I'm sending you the coordinates, and I know where you live. So if he doesn't come, I'm afraid I'm gonna take matters into my own hands, basically. And so the Falcon agrees. He doesn't come alone, though. He comes with the Winter Soldier, and he's not. Before he was trying to convince him. Now he's just like, he comes and is like, hang on, you went too far. You can't. You're gonna get my family into this. Like, thank you. She offers him to join him, but he's not for. And then Sharon Carter, who's been tracking Captain America, finds out that he's arrived. He's here, and it leads to this massive fight with a lot of knives. To the point where Captain America's like, "What's with all the knives?" And it leads to the part where Captain America's friend, the only person who could see that he was a decent human being in the inside, just crumbled by the pressure, gets killed. And he dies, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back for Captain America. He goes out chasing, finds one of the members. It's not the person that killed him, but he's like, no, I had nothing to do with it. Captain America just takes the shield and wrenches it down multiple times, like yonks it down. Blood is got all over his hands. That's the shot we see, and then we realise he's dead. And everyone around him's just looking. Of course they've got those phones out to record, and it's this really cool shot with the music and stuff. It was a really cool one. My favourite one, probably the most brutal scene in the MCU is the Captain America shield with blood on it. It's an incredible scene. I think this is the darkest, the most violent thing we've seen in the MCU, if I'm correct. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, wow. And that is the straw that broke the camel's back. We also find out during that fight to see that he has taken the super soldier serum, which one thing we learned about the super soldier serum in more detail is that if it just exaggerates personalities and make them bigger. So if you're a good person, you're likely to be even more of a good person. But if you're someone with a bit of an ego who had issues like Captain America does, he takes that and he's screwed. He just crumbled under the pressure. And I really like that story because it established him as a hateable villain. But you can see where he's coming from. He's got some small, sympathetic things about him. Overall, this was a fantastic episode. The stakes are finally risen, and I'm very interested to see how this show goes forward. And there we go. Those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know in the comment section what you thought. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, turn notifications on so you never miss a video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.